For the past 2 months, so we actually played on Tuesday in London, so it's not a testing.
Okay.
It's just because it's convenient to start here. Wherever we started, people would think it was a testing.
You're doing a lot of tours recently, and why's that? All of a sudden, all of these concerts all over the place.
Well, because we didn't do any live work the first half of the year, we thought we'd put it all in now. It's good fun. It's nice having this group. It's really good to actually play live with. I don't know, we're having a lot of fun, so it seems like a good idea to go out and play while we're having fun, because we might not next year.
That's nice. From 1978 to 1985, what's the period of transition been like for you?
Slow, but comfortable. It's been just how we wanted it, really. Same label, exactly the same people. It's just gradually got bigger in very manageable steps, which we've controlled all the way along. So it's been good.
And people have come and gone in the band, but you and Lol have stayed together.
Yeah, it looks more coming and going on paper than it actually is, because Simon's been in the group before and Paul's been in the group before, so it's only really Boris that's a newcomer, because it just was cyclic, people sort of go in and come. It's more like a figure eight really than people going through.
You think you're all of this, then back again. Another girl, another name. Stay alive but stay the same. It's a stupid game, stupid game.
When you were just with Lol, probably other session musicians, the Let's Go to Bed came out, and that was like the beginning of the real commercial Cure. Was it deliberate, or did you want to do that?
You say that, but everyone conveniently forgets songs like Boys Don't Cry and Jump in Someone Else's Train, and they were all singles as well. So it was only like the second time we tried it, it worked. It was deliberate, yeah. Let's Go to Bed was probably the only contrived record we ever made and ever will make, because it was designed to completely break the mould of what the Cure had become, which I thought was very static and almost stagnant. So I wanted to attract a new audience, make everybody young again.
What about the new singles, In Between Days and Close to Me? They're really up songs. Have you found some new optimism or something?
It's always been there. I just find it easier to express it now in songs. I never used to be able to put any feelings of optimism or hope or anything into songs. It was always complete despair. Even though my actual personality was always quite balanced, or as balanced as it is, you know. But now, what the Cure do tends to reflect like a whole more than just one particular piece of. It's more like a group mentality, a group feeling really, than just me, because everyone's involved in it.
How do you handle the obsession that people might have with you, especially the people who come backstage and you want to meet you and talk to you?
There aren't too many. In fact, it's strange in that the more popular we've got, the less obsessive people have become, which I suppose there is some kind of perverse law which will dictate that, because when people feel that you're their group and that you belong to them, they tend to become very, very possessive and obsessive. Whereas now, people tend to realise that there's a lot of other people want a part of us as well. So there's a few people left from the very early days of, you know, the sort of priest mentality, the Church of the Cure, but not very many. Most of them have died, I think.
I called you over, troubled in the dreams again.
We started off in the days of punk. Do you still feel anything of that original spirit?
Yeah, we've always retained, I think, just the attitude of it, in that we've never acceded to business demands. We've never really compromised what we do, our attitude towards what we do. But the thing is that punk is like another thing that as more and more time elapses between its occurrence and the present day, it's made into something more than it was, because at the time it was really just entertainment, pure and simple. It was just fun. We used to just go out and go to concerts, and it was something to do. It was a way of passing the time, and it's now become like a social phenomenon, which never really happened. For the people involved in it, you were never aware of anything other than the fun side of it. It was only older people who wanted it to be some great radical step. I'd like to, whatever we do, to be very different to what we've done before. I'd like live. I'd hate us to go out again with just a bigger show or more lights and present the same type of show. I'd like to do something really, really different, like with either us playing a soundtrack to a film rather than just doing our own songs, or anything. I mean, just something very radical. But I really don't know, because I never think about what we're going to do until we finish doing what we're doing. So when we finish in a couple of weeks, that'll be the end of like the head on the door year, and then we can think about what we're going to do next. Maybe nothing, I don't know. Maybe I'll take a very long holiday.
Could you stop and not do it anymore?
Yeah, I'll have to stop. I know. I think next year, when it's our 10th anniversary next December, that'd be a perfect time to stop.
When you're going to go out and make a record now, people will accept it immediately because it's The Cure and don't really listen to what you're doing anymore.
Well, yeah, there's always a percentage, but like if we start off and we make a record and 100 people buy it and all those 100 people listen to it for reasons that I consider to be valid, if we make a second record and 500 people listen to it and the same 100 people listen to it for the same reasons and another 400 join in just because they can dance to it, I would never make the value judgment that those 100 people are worth more than any 100 out of the other 400. It's a difficult thing to, you know, of how you would react to something that you do. I mean, I know exactly what The Cure do, and I know exactly what goes into it, and I know what I get from it. But I couldn't dictate that to anyone else. I couldn't expect anyone else to like follow suit. So there's always going to be people that are going to like us because of what we look like or because we're a group. But at the same time, I think we have a high percentage of people who do listen to what we do and are very critical of what we do as well. We've always had a very critical audience, which from time to time can get annoying, but it's generally a good thing to have. No one lets us sit down and rest, judging by the letters we get. Anyway.
Every time we see you on Top of the Pops or on that the Dutch programme with Bananarama, you always look totally out of it or totally bored with it. Are you? I'm always bored, yeah, with things like that, because just by their nature, you have to be bored. You either have to be so desperate for success that you're willing to put up with being treated like an idiot, or you react in one of two ways, I find, which is boredom, it's not simulated, or we just get drunk. Just because there's so much time sitting around and someone says, would you like a drink? By the time they said it for the 10th time and we said yes for the 10th time, we're drunk and we don't even know it. So, yeah, I mean, they're funny to do in moderation. We don't do very many. The thing with Bananarama was very much a one-off, I hope. Christina?
Yeah, but why do you drink? Is it to go out of the reality, or?
Not particularly, no, because I don't drink as much as people imagine I do. It's got all really out of proportion. In the past month, I've only had about one drink. I only drink socially, just like anybody else. It's just that because of the company that I keep, they tend to drink a lot, and so I do as well when I'm with them. But I never drink at home. Or say I'm not drinking, I'm drinking coffee. See?
Yeah. I think it's a problem for society.
No, I think it's because people want someone like me to exist. It's just like a media thing. And in the past few years, a lot of things have been put on my shoulders which aren't really true. And the current one is that I'm an alcoholic. But I mean, I don't mind.
You played with the Banshees, you experimented with the glove, and now you settled down a bit more. Are you going to do anything else?
Yeah, I'm married to Simon with 3 children. No, again, because at the time of the Banshees and the Glove, it was after pornography with The Cure, and I thought that we were trapped, and I just wanted to get out there and do something different, whereas now The Cure could really go away and do anything, and no one would be that surprised, I think. Except if we did country and western, people would probably be horrified, but anything else. And if I wanted to do something, I'd probably choose the people that I'm playing with to be the backing band anyway, if you like. So I don't really need to go and experiment with anyone else. I experiment within The Cure now.
I'd like to ask you why you use makeup in such a little bit strange way.
It's not strange, it's very moderating today.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
Yeah.
If I didn't wear it, you wouldn't be able to see where my mouth was. You'd think it was over here somewhere, that's why I wear lipstick. I started wearing it on stage just because I've got very ill-defined features and I just wanted to make more of them. So it's not so much vanity, I don't think, because it's a bit too odd to be vanity. It's more theatricality, which has just stuck with me. I just wear it all the time. I look really funny with it off. We never concentrated on England as somewhere to attain a degree of success and then go to the rest of the world and say, look, we're popular in England, we must be good, which a lot of groups rely on. But we always wanted to concentrate everywhere, particularly in Europe, at the same level, so that it all built at the same time, so that we could actually see the people that we were playing to and see the places we were going to. Which means that now I don't really I'm not able to really go out that much or do anything. But because of our previous times here, I've already seen a lot of all the places that we've been to. So in that sense, I meant we were international. I don't think, and plus we don't sing really about issues that are socially relevant, particularly, so that they're not placed in England. There's a lot of, if you get caught up in singing about either social or political issues in England, it tends to alienate a lot of people because they don't understand what you're talking about. I mean, I don't understand British politics. I just fail to see how anyone else out of the country can understand it.
When I came here, I saw a lot of people who tried to copy Robert Smith. How do you feel about this? Clothes and hairstyle and...
Yeah, but again, I mean, I never copied anyone in looks. I used to admire people like Alex Harvey, and I used to think it would be really good to be like Alex Harvey. But I would never have taken it to the extreme. Although he used to wear a black and white T-shirt, and I bought a black and white T-shirt, so I must have wanted to look...
No, they copy you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just explaining that when I was younger, I had a similar mentality. I think everybody does to an extent, whether it's to do with music or sport or literature. You always have to have someone who you will admire. Just some people tend to take it to an extreme, and it's particularly easy when you're involved in a pop group. This is a horrible expression, but I mean, I'd rather people copied me than copied George Michael, but I'd rather they didn't copy anyone, but they do, so. It doesn't really affect me, again, it's something that I only encounter when we're in the context of a concert, and I've come to sort of expect it. I don't see it anywhere else, so it doesn't bother me. If my mum started spiking her hair, I'd get worried.